I see it.
All right, so we're trying to get YouTube and Facebook going at the same time. Ben's got some duct tape out.
Gaff tape.
Gaff
Sorry, gaff
Does it
tape.
lean forward or backwards?
He's going to try
Or is it leaning
to
forward or backwards?
tape this iPad
Okay,
case
gotcha.
so that you can
Well,
watch.
we can kind of like recap what we're doing here.
Hi, everybody on Facebook. The Isaac's here. That makes sense since it's the Isaac's channel. We're going live now on Facebook and YouTube, trying to get them both to work simultaneously. It's been a challenge for some reason.
So we're back up on Facebook.
All right, back up on Facebook. So for those of you that were watching, sorry we lost our feed. We're trying to get our YouTube feed going now too. Go to the Isaacs on YouTube, and that is running pretty steady right now if you're having trouble viewing us on Facebook, okay? So anyway, what we're doing, we're going to start a brand new record that we just decided to do this. It's going to be something called something like Songs for the Times. And it's going to be songs that we feel are important right now, songs that will help us and heal us and give us hope and peace in this time of really the crisis that's been going on for a few months. And since we're off the road until Lord knows when, at least end of July, we have the time to do it. So we want you to be a part. A lot of people ask us questions like, what's it like to be in the studio and record? So we're going to set up a camera in the control room of the studio at Ben's Den on Friday. That's a week from today in the morning. What time does that start? 10? Something
We'll
like
start
that.
tracking at 10.
With the Isaacs Band, Central Time, the Isaacs Band, and then some amazing musicians that we're bringing in to join us, Aubrey Haney, Brian Sutton, and Gordon Moe. I believe that's who. We've got waiting on one last confirmation from them. But to be able to record a live album, not a live album, it's an album, but go live on YouTube, and so you guys can watch it. And what we're going to try to leave the camera running the whole time.
Wow.
That we're in there.
Hi, Odie.
So that's untelling what will
I love
happen.
you.
Yeah, and so we've never done anything like this before. So you can check in throughout the day if you want to see where we're at in the recording process.
We'll watch it after we get done.
And so we want you to watch with us and kind of learn how we do it in the studio. Ben's going to be producing, and it's going to be fun. So we'll start that on Friday next week. And really, if you want to, we're still talking about the best way to make this work. So we talked about an honor system where, like, you could go in and donate.
Donation.
What, $25? Whatever.
A donation.
We haven't got all the details worked out, so that you have all access to these live feeds, and it helps us to fund the record. Okay, so that's going to happen a week from now, right now. Friday.
Right, a week from today.
And then we will be doing vocals. The first day will be tracking. This is actually the first day. This is a pre-production. We're having a song meeting, which we're not yet, but we're going to here in a minute, to pick songs. And then we track it on Friday next week, where we're going to get together and do pre-production on that too. We got to work out the
It
songs a little
depends.
bit.
It depends on schedules.
Yeah, maybe next week on like Thursday or something, or Friday.
I'll be setting up studio Thursday.
Maybe tomorrow.
I could do half part of it Thursday. We got to figure it out. We'll let you know.
Get together and arrange these songs before we get in the studio.
It's funny because during all this time of this COVID stuff, I have either been just twiddling my thumbs or so busy that I can't move, that I can't keep up. And it's just like all of a sudden, as of this week, I just can't keep up anymore.
Good for
So
you.
I'm not bragging.
Well,
I'm just,
can I say this too while we're talking about working? I said this, I did a post yesterday to remind people about tonight. And so just so you know, the music industry is really suffering right now. Every aspect of it, every moving part of it, from the places that reproduce CDs and form recording studios and artists. And well, thank God today we heard that a lot of our churches are going to be having service again. I'm grateful for that. But anyway, we're trying to reinvent what we do, and we actually don't have any dates now until August. So we thought about this idea, and we also said that we would,
Okay,
it would, yes.
go ahead.
What are you
I just
talking
put
about?
the squirrel. I don't
I'm
think our band knows what
yeah,
that's
Who's
I just
our
told
band? Wait a minute.
I just told Becky, and so I said we haven't told.
Well, let me finish my thought. See, this is what you get. All I was going to say is the reason that we're doing a donation charge is because it's costing us money for the studio, for musicians, things like that, and so that's why we felt like we needed to just help.
So I think the best way to do something like that is, just to help cover the costs and that kind of thing, is we'll do an honor system. Some people can afford to do $10, Some people can do 25. Somebody can do more. And I mean, if you've watched the things that we've done, we've been very, very particular about saying, hey, we don't want to do this for money, because our number one calling that God has given us is to sing and allow our music to minister to people and help people through the times. That's the thing that we hear all the time. So to be able to do something like this, it's not a cheap project. You know, we have to rent cameras and do that kind of stuff. So we want to do it right as we can, as being non-professional. But you know, and maybe if they can afford to do $25 or more on the honor system, we'll give them a free autograph
That's
seating.
a great idea. That would be a great idea.
So, Rod, I mean, that's
Well,
up to
so
Roger.
So this is what's so funny about the Isaacs is that we just now text our band.
Nobody
Nathan,
knew.
Uh-oh.
Levi, and Josh.
Surprise!
Telling them that we are
Is he
brainstorming
I
and we're
don't
wanting
know.
to make a record, and they said when. So Sonia just told them we hope to track next Friday, and so
If you're watching,
hi guys.
Yeah.
If you're watching,
Josh
would you be
and
available?
Levi.
What's crazy
Audio
is
went out.
when,
Did it really? Check 1 2.
when we were
There's no audio.
We're really
Oh, now it's
organized.
there.
when we were on the bus, we used to talk about these kind of things because we saw each other 3 or 4 days a week. But from where we're kind of been separate and not seeing our band as much,
Yeah, it's on now.
have-
Elizabeth, we have it.
we have these kind of brainstorming conversations, and then all of a sudden we realize, oh my goodness, you know, that we've been busy and haven't let them in on it. But hey, band, we're trying to get input from our peers to see what they want, and we're just trying to make something. So, what do we want to title this record, guys?
I think songs for the times,
Oh,
because
that's great.
we have when we need to figure out if we're gonna do, like, you know, what type of songs. But obviously we haven't had time to write a whole record yet. But we have written a few songs, and Ben even wrote a song that we really
Right.
I'm serious, Ben. We need to listen to your songs. So
Wait till you hear my idea.
But I feel like there are, you know, but there are great songs that have already been written that we've never recorded that we would love to do. So, and you know, even commented on Facebook asking people for you know, ideas and things. And I wrote down the whole list. There were so many great songs, and a lot of you didn't even know that we've already recorded a couple of hymns project in our career.
Yes.
We recorded one, 20 or 30 years ago, 25 years ago, and then we just re-recorded one. When was that last one that we
Well,
did?
our
What-
Naturally
yeah.
series have really been about the hymns and songs of
Yeah.
the faith. Really, I mean, that's kind of
Yeah, it
songs
has.
of the faith was one of them that was kind of
Yes,
The hymns
yeah.
thing.
That's
So-
right. So we've done a lot of the songs you already recommended. You might just want to go look on iTunes for those songs. But
in God's
But
hands.
songs for the
whole
times is a
lot.
great
I
idea.
think songs for the times, and we kind of just make a record that is for the times. You know, we've all needed some extra hope and love and encouragement and all that stuff. So so the first process of this is picking songs. And so I made a list of some great songs that people commented on Facebook already and YouTube. And I'm just going to list some of these songs, so listen up and see what you guys think of these songs. And we need to listen to the ones that we've written too and see which ones we feel
And then I have a
best.
couple of, I think we all have suggestions we came
All
to
right,
the
yeah,
meeting.
okay, so let me read these down for songs that some of you recommended. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Okay.
That'd be great.
Oh,
precious is the flow that makes me white as snow. No other fount I know, nothing but the blood of Jesus.
In the
like
garden.
it. I'm just kidding.
In the garden. Now we haven't pre-planned any of this, so
Hey,
this is
Mark.
all off the cuff.
Hi,
Hey, Mark.
Mark, our engineer.
Hi, Mark.
Sound man, we
Mark,
may
are
be
you
making a
guys ready
record.
next
Run
Friday?
through them so we can hear
What's
the
another one?
title.
Sing.
So in the garden, we've sang that for years.
Then
We've
we
never
never
recorded it.
He walks with me and he talks
Okay.
with me.
That's a good.
And he tells me I am his own.
Let me go for you to lead.
And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Never
And
heard it before.
somebody said they would love to hear you sing Somebody's Praise.
Oh, Ricky Spraggs.
Oh, man.
Remember that one?
Of course, but
Finish your list because I've got a couple of ones that'll surprise you.
So think about that one.
mighty hands are guiding me to protect me from what I can't see. Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe. Somebody's praying. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the melody. You hit me on the spot.
That's good. I love that song.
Crying in the
Yeah,
chapel.
Ricky Stiles did. You
Longing for
love Beulah.
There's
How about this one? This might be a good acapella. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. I love that song. And Mom, we talked about this one, and somebody already posted, and I was already thinking about this song. You know that Buddy Green song?
Yes, I know.
Don't
I
belong,
love that.
but I'm going someday.
Love that.
On my own distant land.
Can I
I love
shock
that
you with
song.
one?
Sure.
Okay.
You can't wait till I get through the
Oh,
list.
I didn't know. I thought you were done. You had about 8
No,
of them.
there's like
Okay, go ahead.
12.
12.
The
Well,
people are loving to hear
but
those
you have to
songs.
sing everyone, so it'll take it out.
They're enjoying
You're fine.
being part of that. Yeah.
Okay, what about this one? Hold to God's unchanging hand.
Hold to his hand, to God's unchanging hand.
Build your hopes on things eternal. Hold
To God's unchanging hand.
Man, that's a good one for the times. And then consider the lilies.
Joel Winfield.
Oh, I love that one.
Love that one. Ain't no grave. Somebody said that, and I know Karen Peck already recorded that
Well,
one.
there ain't
That's
no
it.
grave.
Hold my body.
Well, there's several different versions of that.
No one does it better than Jeanette Cook.
Jeanette Cook. That might be fun.
When I hear that trumpet sound,
Pastor.
Gonna
hold
my
body
down. Like,
Well, meet me, Jesus. meet
Yeah.
me. Oh, look.
yeah, I got guitar.
You may have to do volume
That'd be fun
3.
to get home.
Volume 1, 2, and 3.
She's doing D. She's doing
Are you doing grassy?
Gonna hold my body.
There no grave.
Gonna hold my body. When I hear that trumpet sound.
Gonna get up out of there. No grave.
Gonna hold my body. Now do well mean Jesus. Well,
Meet me, Jesus, meet me. Meet me in the middle of the earth. I will rise and see my mother. No grave.
Yeah.
that's halfway. Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be cool.
I don't know that song.
Okay, and then Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left the Christian state. He washed.
I'll tell you, it'd be really good to do a song like that. Do the other one as an acapella and maybe pull just Brian in for this song so we can treat it like that naturally.
On
Maybe
guitar.
Brian and Aubrey fiddle and guitar and play those.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Someone suggested, yes, I know.
Oh, I love that song.
Yes,
I
know. Jesus' blood can make the vilest sinner clean. Love that. Gaither song.
Yeah, Bill probably needs the money.
Yeah.
He probably should.
What about go rest high on that mountain? That was another one. Oh, I love this one too. I've anchored my soul in the haven of rest. I'll sail the wide seas no more. That one.
That's good.
What about for a bluegrass tune? There's going to be a meeting in the air in that sweet, sweet by and by. I'm going to meet you over there in the home beyond the sky. Such feeling you will hear, never heard, not more will.
did that. We did it as an instrumental.
We did.
That was the first song I learned how to play bass on. That's bass solo.
Really?
It
Wow.
was in
Did
D.
you know?
Yeah, it was.
Let's face it.
Yeah, we
The
did that.
Wow.
Lord will be coming back soon, so that's to me that's very relevant. How about this one? Through it all, through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus.
I've learned to trust in God.
Okay, then you've done this a lot. I have decided to follow Jesus.
Lord, we've got 7 records.
I
Yeah,
have
so that's
decided.
good.
And then
More
this one,
volumes.
this is the last one, but there were so many more. But he was there all the time. He was there all the time, waiting patiently in line. He was there all the time. I love that song.
Mama, give us some songs you've got.
I don't know, because I think I'm in a different era.
Everybody wants to go to heaven.
Well, it's going to be a variety. I mean, these are just some ideas. Oh, that's a good
Somebody
one.
put that on the list.
I'm trying to keep up with it. Mark
Thank
Lowry,
you, Carol
he's
Johnson.
watching, and thank you, Mark, for all of your help the other day,
Yes.
helping us get our kinks worked out of this.
We're
social
still
media
kinking.
stuff.
Put your hand in the hand of the man who. How's that lyric? Somebody's just posted.
Still the water.
To the water. Put your hand
In the hand of man
That'd be
Galilee.
fun.
What's a wrong song that Roger wrote?
Under control.
He's written a bunch.
The winds obey his way.
Under control.
I don't remember the words to it.
When he speaks, the storms will be still.
Oh, don't be afraid.
Oh, what is the word, Roger?
Though the billows may roll.
The billows may roll.
God's almighty hand
Is still in command.
So rejoice in
your
soul.
For it's under control.
Roger!
He wrote that
I
song.
wrote that. Mom, give us some of your songs.
All right, Mom.
All right, here we go.
Speak
I
out.
have a feeling we're going to go back to the 60s.
You are going to go back to the 60s because, I have to get a drink of water for this one. Because you said songs for the times when we talked about the theme. So I'm thinking, okay, we're living in one of the worst times I can ever remember ever in my life. And I got to thinking, okay, songs for the times. So I was a young teenager in the 60s. And I lived through President Kennedy being assassinated. And then a few years later, Martin Luther King was assassinated. So there were so many great folk music writers at the time that wrote lyrics that I thought were so appropriate for today. So that's where I was looking.
So here comes Bob Dylan.
Yes! I mean, this song, listen, for
Let's
the
hear it,
times
Powers.
they are changing.
How's it go?
It So I can read the lyrics.
Yeah,
Let's
sing
see.
it.
Sing it, Mom.
I don't know if I said, come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that it's soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, and keep your eyes open, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheels in spin, and there's no telling who that's an amen. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. My favorite verse. Come senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block the hall. For he that get hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your bones. For the times they are a-changing. I thought that was a song for
You
the
know,
times.
Paul Westphal will be very happy.
Yeah.
Well, I
Paul
Maybe
Westphal.
he would bring his harmonica.
Yeah.
So listen,
Cindy, tell
I
me
have an idea. You know how we did Is Not This the Land of Beulah? Because it was repetitive and all the verses. So I thought it would be so cool if the four of us took a verse.
Yeah.
And they modulated it. And we don't have to do it like Bob Dylan. But to me, the lyrics are absolutely of the times.
Mark
What do you
Connery
think?
said beautiful.
Well, I barely know it.
All right,
I heard
here,
it.
I'm gonna write it here.
Don't you think
Well,
that's a great
that's a
song
great
for the
song.
Bob
times?
Dylan's-
I mean, we can work it up Isaac style,
Yeah.
but I mean, those
Appreciate
words to me are just because the times are changing, right?
So
Let's-
that makes me think of another song.
So let's just recap. There's a lot of people that are just joining. So, so I said, so what a great pre-show. But what we're doing today is we're having a song meeting because next Friday, for those of you that are joining, we are going to invite you guys into my studio with the Isaacs, our band, Josh Swift, Spigot, and us.
They don't know
Yeah.
about it yet.
They just
Yeah, we just texted them and asked them if they could do it, and I haven't seen either one of them say yes or no or whatever
They're
yet.
real busy right now. So.
Well, but they might have lives. But with Gordon Moat, our incredible friend that plays piano, Brian Sutton, and Aubrey Haney plays fiddle. Just going in and cutting songs for the time. What'd you call it?
Songs of the time.
Songs for the Times record, and but just have you guys be a part of that. So that's what we're talking about.
And an ongoing feed on YouTube, if we can figure out how to do it right, from the studio control room, and also with cameras in some of the rooms,
ISO booths.
ISO booths, so that you can watch as we're tracking and going down, and so you can be a part of it from the beginning to the end. It'll be
So
fun.
we're picking out songs now, and then we're going to come at you with the song production day where we actually pick out the keys and write up
Yeah,
some
where we
arrangements.
arrange the
Yeah,
songs.
maybe it might be as we're doing it.
Yeah, kind of like this. This is literally how it is for song production.
Except we usually, because there's a camera here, we're not fighting as much.
I love this song. I don't know if it's right. Just over yonder, beyond the river, there is a city.
Me? A purity light, where many loved ones are congregating, with palms of victory and robes of roses.
Just over yonder, there'll be no pain to, no lonely days up there will ever come.
There'll be no crying, there'll be no
Dying,
oh, what rejoicing when we get home.
Did we not record that song before?
Maybe.
We used to do it live, and I get the goosebumps every time.
So
we
if
sing
I'm
that
going to be
song.
leading that, you need to take down at least a B.
Well, that was B. So
No, that was C, wasn't it? Just over yonder, beyond the river, there is a city of pure delight, where many loved ones are congregating, with palms of victory and robes of rose of light. Just over, there'll be no pain to, no lonely days up there will ever come. There'll be no crying, there'll be no dying. Oh, what rejoicing when we get home.
That's a good one.
And I love this one too. I'll meet you in the morning by the bright. Sing along.
Side where the sorrows
I've drifted
Yeah.
away.
I'll be standing at the portal when the gates open wide. At the close of life's long dreary day, I'll meet you in the morning,
In the morning,
with a
how do you do?
and we'll
Sit down by the river.
by the
Sit down by the river.
You'll know me.
Know me in the morning.
By the smile that when I'll meet you in the morning, in that city that is city built for
Every funeral
Yeah.
that the Isaac's family,
Yeah.
Isaac's Lamb family,
Everything.
it's always
They sing that when people
all
were
black.
going on
It's a
the
black
coffin.
screen, but can you
So-
hear us still? We're working on it.
Yeah.
What
Check
happens
on
when it
that.
goes black?
Can't
I don't
hear
know.
you.
YouTube is frozen, looks like. It's
I don't know
just
what's
spinning.
happened.
Did your internet go out back here? You have any internet problems?
Is the YouTube down too?
No, I think we're still on.
Still on? Okay.
It's spinning though. It's a frozen picture.
Maybe it's my computer.
Yeah.
So another song that we did
Who
last
turned
week.
out the lights?
Yeah.
Becky didn't pay her bill. Like I said, we need
Right.
money.
So another song that's a great one is Till the Storm Passes By. We did that last week. The Dottie Rainbow tune, you know, great for the times. I thought about that one. It's a great classic.
I
What are some of
always,
these suggestions?
I always love the song, and I think it's gonna rain today. That Midler with
Yeah.
like Tony Rice's version of that. I'm not sure. I
What
couldn't
about-
sing it.
What
I can
about
hear
y'all?
you,
Who did that song? Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody. Keep on talking, going to a bedroom.
The
Is that the Forbes
The
family?
Forbes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Ain't
Do
gonna
this one.
let
Oh,
nobody.
life goes to
That's a great song.
Marshall
Oh
family.
my gosh.
Audio is
Marshall
fine.
family.
We're working on the video. Bear with us.
There.
Hey, Roger, we
There we
can see
are.
you. Say hi to Roger.
Can you see Roger?
Under
I see
control.
Roger's face.
Oh, yeah, there's Roger. Oh, there he is.
Does
Yeah.
anybody remember the
We
Marshall
had a
family?
shower.
Do you remember the
You
Marshall
know what's
family?
funny about that song is I went on YouTube because I couldn't remember if it was the Marshall family or the Forbes family that did it. And y'all, that song, whoever, the Marshall family or somebody rewrote it because the original versions is it's all about it was a bunch of black artists have done it, and it goes, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around,
Love that.
and then at the end it goes,
Let's see what's
I'm
wrong.
walking, free going to freedom's land.
I
Oh,
love
wow.
that.
Ain't gonna
That's what we
let
should do.
segregation turn me around.
Wow, I love that.
That's one of the verses, and then one of the
Wow.
verses ain't gonna let.
Gary Prim
Uh,
says, "Hey, Roger."
I have to look it up, but it's a difference.
I love
So they
that.
rewrote it to where it was like a
Oh, that's
gospel
awesome.
song.
Hey, Facebook people, hang in there.
Ain't
The
gonna
camera's going
let
dead.
no
Yeah.
jailhouse turn me
Love that.
around. That's one of the verses.
Well, sometimes people need to go to jail.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I love that. No, that's a
I
great
also love the song. Under his wings, who from his love can sing.
We'll have about 4 volumes of this songs for the time.
Is that what it was?
I'm sorry.
That's
What
okay.
What happened?
So we have a camera
The
set
battery ran out.
Oh no!
We
So
have a camera set up on a tripod, and it's like everybody's. I can't believe the audio still works.
But when we started, we wasn't gonna live stream, so it's.
Thank you guys.
It's
We're
just
sorry.
the little things.
We'll
You
be
figure it
back.
out.
Hey!
Guys,
You know,
thanks for
we're-
hanging in there with us.
Every live feed, we figure something else out. don't we, Roger?
Poor
Hey, and I was
Roger.
going to say we're getting a lot of requests for songs that we've already
Yeah.
recorded.
we have.
So if you want to, you know, a lot, and this is, I'm going to say this too, not just the Isaacs, but a lot of groups right now are really struggling with what happens. I think where this whole world is. I think the way that you could really, you know, that you can help your favorite group right now, even if you have their product, is go buy it. Go online and buy their product, and that way it takes care of the songwriters, it takes care of the record companies. There's a lot of people you don't, you know, I mean, we were talking about we have so many dates canceling because a lot of performing halls that a lot of places that we play are owned by cities, and I mean, we got canceled just this week at Christmas because the city had shut down, not the church side of it, but the city had shut down all their venues,
Performing arts center.
performing arts centers, or you know, a
Yeah,
lot of those
Christmas
places.
Day.
So
That's unbelievable.
if you want to help your favorite artist or any of your artists, you know, even if you have the CD, go buy a CD and give it to somebody, whether you like them or not. You know?
Yeah, and a couple of people have asked then if we have a PayPal, and we obviously are not asking for anything, but
Thank you for those
people
of you
that are
that are
asking,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
do. I'll have Roger put it up, theisaacs.com, where you can go and there's a place with PayPal that you can donate if you
Anyway.
like.
So now that we're back on track, let's talk about songs. So I love the idea.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I like the other version.
Yeah.
Like,
You know
Yeah,
what?
I like
the,
that
four,
version.
the four of us can actually take a verse of that
I
different.
love that.
Like you can do.
I'll just do
say-
one.
Oh come on.
No,
I love that.
no.
It's kind of
Sonia, I
a-
love the
yeah,
original
so
It's like
version.
we need some Fairfield
Rhythm.
4.
Yeah, I love that version.
Yeah, yeah.
With some of those.
All right,
Work
now we've
around.
lost audio. Maybe check 1 2. Somebody said they can't hear the audio. I think a lot of times people, when their own Wi-Fi and stuff goes away for a second, they comment and it's like
It's theirs.
it's theirs. But right now it seems pretty solid on this end. So
Seems right here.
yeah, we're good here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have a session tonight
So-
too. So let's see if we can. Well, we have other songs we haven't
Oh,
revisited.
while they're talking, check this out. You guys are asking me about shirts. Look at this.
Shameless
Get closer.
advertising.
Am I getting close? Tell me how close to get.
Right there.
Right
Don't
there.
forget about our
look
people
at
too.
that.
On YouTube.
I'll,
then
I'll go
YouTube.
to it.
Wow.
That is
So,
the coolest thing.
The screenplay does our shirts, and they're the ones that made my
J. Paul. You sure?
J. Boy Jackson, my T-shirts. How's that, Becky?
That's good.
Oh, look at that.
So, I'm thinking about carrying some of those. I usually I had so many requests. When people come and record with me, I usually give them an option of giving a hat and a shirt because that's just the way it is. But I've had so many requests that I'm thinking about carrying them. But anyway,
Well, you know,
there's a
everybody.
request from Jim Nichols to do Turn, Turn, Turn.
Well, tell
That's
us
a
about
good
it.
one.
Well, you've already redid that. It's a surprise.
It's not yet.
But Ben, all
Yes.
these people are going to be with us in the studio Friday.
Friday.
So they need to order one, right? You're going to set up a place to do this someday?
Oh, I can't handle that pressure right
I
now.
mean, whenever. We'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, what I need to do probably is just set up my own website. Everything I do, you know, it's my studio. I'm the only one that works there.
I can work
So-
for you and send them out.
Whatever.
Let her do something, Ben.
Yeah.
Let me do something. I don't have nothing else to do. No, I'll have to send them out. If people want one. I mean, if they're going to be part of the recording, why wouldn't they order one?
Well, I mean, they can, but
Be
it's
fine.
okay. We appreciate you all and thank you for your patience through all this. And but let's talk about songs.
I'll tell you another song that I love, and we've done it a long time ago, but it has really meant a lot to me right now. Is
Message failed to send. It should be a notification.
what a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. Oh, because we do not care. Everything to God in prayer.
So
With all
can
this-
we make 2 records?
We
3
might.
records?
Now we did that one. Was that part of a medley, or did we do the whole song? We did.
I don't- Yeah, we did it kind of a half song medley.
We could do a medley of some of those old ones. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Somebody was suggesting medleys.
Yeah, medley of some of those old kind of like we did that one.
That adds so much stress to me.
What medley?
Because you have to put everything together.
God is going to see me through. Is that right?
No
No
matter
matter what the case may be, my God is going to fix it for me. I have confidence. I'm going to see
Yeah.
you through. No matter what the case may be, I know it's going to fix it for me. Who was it? The Hymnals? Who did
No,
Yeah,
that's
who was it?
Danny Davis song or something. I mean, it was
Danny?
a long time ago.
I tell you, Joel wrote a song, another song, and I might have spoke too soon. It's one of my favorites, though. I claim the blood. I claim the blood. Jesus shed on Calvary. Those precious blood stains were made there just for me. For all my sin, my sickness and my pain. When I need healing, I claim those precious blood stains.
What we need to do after we pick our songs, we need to do one of these Facebook Live things just like this
And just
and sing the request.
every
We can have
song.
we can actually have Google so we can get the lyrics.
Oh
I
wow.
think that'd be fun.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
sometime.
yeah.
Just real informally.
Andre wrote "I've Got Confidence."
Andre.
Elvis singing it.
Is that it?
Wasn't bad. I was a friend of Andre. I forgot.
Elvis, someone said Elvis, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
All
I
right.
know, you got that.
Someone asked for Not
Here comes
Afraid.
Doris.
y'all.
Oh yeah. Stick it.
Did you think to pray? How's that good? Did you think to pray? Oh, I know that. I just can't think of it right now.
Did you think to pray? See if iTunes knows it.
How many
How
songs?
about
we
the
got
old
now?
shop of Zion?
Oh, mistake.
That's my typing right there. Who did
Shop
that?
of Zion.
Heather.
Heather, babe.
Did you have any other songs on your list or just one?
Well, no, I had others, but you've gone a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take some more.
So there was a song that we recorded for Tony Rice called "Peaceful Waters." Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was
Do you
like-
remember that? Oh my goodness. The words just got me. The words. Dead leaves of autumn. I mean, there's too many words. I can't. But I listened to it the other day, and I thought it was just the words. I was looking for more content. I know these people. Everybody's picking
I'd like to talk
classics, and that's fine. But the Dead Leaves of Autumn, we recorded that. How many years ago did we do that?
25 at least.
I'm trying to find the lyrics here.
The leaves of autumn that cling so desperately must
Gordon,
fly before the cold October wind.
Right.
Their simple life is ended.
Do you remember
Must
it?
they be born to fly, to die
By Gordon
again.
Lightfoot, right.
Yeah.
May the light of freedom shine for all
Such a
the
beautiful
world to
version
see.
of
Oh,
that. with Tony
yes,
Rice
I would
playing
love to
guitar.
do that again.
Goodness gracious.
and we could do it differently, but that also to me, just the words talk about let freedom reign, and you know, let this world be. That's Gordon Lightfoot. We have a version. We have our version.
What about Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
Huh?
Isn't that a great song about just
Who's that?
This is Did You Think to Pray?
Did You Think to Pray?
This is Charlie Pride's version.
Oh yeah, it's an old classic.
Yeah, that's a good song too.
And he's singing bass.
Just any day now our Lord is coming. He'll be returning for you and me. Oh, I've been watching and I've been waiting. Just any day now, His face I'll see. We're trying to sing them as you requested.
What's that song?
We may not sound good singing them. Our voices all sound different, and
Listen,
the harmonies sound different.
What's that song you sang when we had prayer service sometime, and you did it at the that it's like a praise and worship. I love that song you do.
And I will
Yes, sing it. You remember this one?
Place.
So how does it go?
This yearning deep within me reaches out to you. Your oil of joy for me. It soaks me, makes me new. And I will go to your secret place, bow my knees to your glorious throne. Have your way in my heart, oh Lord. Have your way.
Love that. Love that.
We had a request for the River of Jordan. Is that too high?
To the river of Jordan, my Savior went one day. We read that John the Baptist met him there. When John baptized Jesus in Jordan's rushing water, the mighty power of God filled the air. Well, I'm on my way
To the river of Jordan,
run away right
to the rushing water,
I'm going down
I'm going down
to the river of Jordan.
and let the cool waters cleanse my soul. That's a good one.
What about the Good Shepherd, Becky?
I
She did
recorded
that.
Yeah, you
one.
You
recorded
did
that.
it?
on my
On
solo
what? Where is it?
record, eventually someday.
So what about yeah,
Oh, I got one. I forgot to mention it, and it just came to my mind, and I'll forget about it.
well go ahead then.
What about Whispering Hope? Whispering Hope, oh how welcome my bones rest. It's a hymn, but I love it when I know that
It's really good.
Whispering Hope is a
So
beautiful.
I guess what we're
Right,
going to
Whispering
do
Hope, yeah.
is, like, all of us go through and, you know,
Vote.
vote for your own song that you sing lead on, and we meet again. And
Narrow it
now
down.
we need to talk about some songs that we've written because we have a lot of.
Yeah. we haven't
Actually,
heard
there's a
those.
song that we wrote.
Soon and very soon.
We wrote. That's a good one.
Just
We wrote a couple of songs that during this pandemic.
I'd
So
love
I
to
think
hear
we need
those
to think
too.
about
Yeah,
those. Maybe
we
Ben
need
has
to
a
hear
song
it.
that's really good that he wrote too. Becky, can we sing the chorus of Peace and Trusting in the Lord? You remember how to play it? There's peace when my faith and fear are at war. Oh, that would carry in. I can play it.
It would be a
You want me
little
to play it? A little bit of it? There's peace in trusting to major trusting the Lord. Peace when my faith and fear are at war. But I don't have to worry. He knows what's in store, and there's peace in trusting the Lord.
Nice.
We wrote that like 2 weeks ago. We wrote one about in the wilderness.
Oh yeah, do you remember that one?
I don't. I don't, but it's a great song about how God is with you in the wilderness. And
So how you liking this process so far?
I've cried, heartbroken, and my hands are tied. But He's been faithful. I don't remember the melody. Time and time again, and although I don't know how it ends, there's peace and trust
That's
in
a
the
great
Lord.
song.
And the second verse says, if His will should not go my way, if the answer is not what I prayed, then I'll know there's a reason for what I can't see, because I know He knows what's best for me. And there's peace in trusting the Lord, peace when my faith and fear are at war. And I don't have to worry, He knows what's in store.
Wow.
And there's peace in trusting the Lord.
Oh, definitely have to do that
Do you
one.
remember the wilderness song, Becky?
I could play a little bit of it on here, and you
Play
can
it.
just and also we wrote.
And I love you too, Adam.
I love you, Adam. Who? I love you.
Adam
too.
Krebs says I love you, man.
Adam.
So this one we wrote. It's called It's a
Right,
Wilderness.
this is Levi,
We
actually.
did.
Is it finished? I think it's.
Where's
Yeah.
Levi? Where's Levi?
This is called The Wilderness. We wrote this a couple weeks ago.
It's Levi.
I'm not sure.
In here.
They
Don't
can
let
sure
them
can
hear
hear it. I have to take it over there.
Just sing along with it.
Okay. Never thought their freedom would have left them wandering in a desert bed. Can you sing it?
You know how David, quilling bread from heaven, with a cloud by day and a fire by night. God said, I heard your cries and remember who I am. Trust in my provision till you reach the promised land. You might have to wait. You might have to pray more than you usually do. And you may be afraid. You may have lost your faith in all you ever knew. But God won't leave you, where He won't keep you, and He'll be with you in the wilderness. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel alone and distant. God, are you listening? As far as you can see,
love
there is
that.
no end. What could be the reason? How long is the season? When will you hear His voice again? God said, I've heard your cries. Remember who I am. Trust in my provision till you reach the promised land.
And you might have to wait, and you might have to pray more than you usually do. And you may be afraid, you may have lost your faith in all you ever knew. But God won't lead you, where He won't keep you, and He'll be with you in the wilderness.
I know it feels all wrong, but the wilderness ain't home. You won't have to be there long, so keep moving on.
Beautiful.
And you know what, Ben hasn't even heard these songs. So
I haven't.
Like,
They're great. They're awesome.
We were talking about being in the wilderness and how we've been in such a desert and a dry season. Like, Christians have really, even with our faith, it's been hard to not feel like you're like, where are we, God? Why are you letting us be here? But, we've heard so many prophecies, and people have just really, we know that God has allowed this. God didn't cause this, but He's allowed it because nothing passes through His hand that He doesn't control. And so we know that there's a shaking that's happening in the Christian faith, and that, it's increasing our faith. We're having to depend on the Lord for everything more than we ever had before. And so it does feel like a wilderness. But God, He let the children of Israel walk and go into the wilderness, but it was because of their lack of faith and they're complaining that they stayed in the wilderness.
40 years.
We don't want to stay in this wilderness. We want to be able to hear God's voice, and so this song was definitely inspired by the pandemic.
And we've got several songs that we're in the process of learning.
Yeah.
What about that up tempo? This is
I don't
a
even
good
know
one.
if we've gotten.
Listen to this one, Ben. We're pitching our songs to Ben and Mom right now because they didn't help us write these. But let's see, where is it? This
You
one.
know
We just
I'm
have to go in and finish this one.
I'm your biggest fan.
These
so.
songs are already copywritten, by the way. Don't think we're stealing them. This song's called "Give 'Em What You Got." Okay. I don't know if I got the lyrics. I know you can't hear this good, but I'll tell you the words in a second. Kind of grassy thing. You don't have to be a lot. All He wants is what you got, and a willing heart. Whatever that line is. He can make it what you can if you put it in His hands with the faith of a little mustard seed. Just give Him what you got and believe. Like, here's the words. He was preaching to a multitude in Galilee. 5,000 men were gathered with their families. They were hungry. It was late. Lord, just send them all away. The disciples said, there's nothing here to eat. Then they said, Lord, here's a basket given by a lad. 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish is all he has. Jesus blessed the fish and bread, and the multitude was fed, and they gave him 12 baskets that were left. And of course, says it don't have to be a lot. All he wants is what you've got. And a willing heart, blah, blah, blah. I don't know that line yet. He can make it what you can if you put it in His hands. With the faith of a little mustard seed, just give Him what you got and believe.
Yep.
So, anyway, if we're looking for something up tempo.
And I love this song that we started with Russ Taff several years
Oh,
ago.
yes.
It's so good. We wrote it about Anthony Berger. Remember that when Anthony passed away?
It's about heaven, right?
It is. Well, we've got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, and we're gonna have to come back live here in a little bit and do
What
some
about your
more.
song?
6 o'clock.
What about your song you wrote?
You're not ready to share it yet.
Well, I have to look for it. I actually co-wrote it with Jimmy Fortune and Mike Rogers. Because
Oh,
you
then
guys,
it's no good.
you guys aren't available.
Don't even bother.
They're actually my true friends, the people I choose to hang out with. No, but it's a song that I love my church. I'm very involved at my church. I go to Cornerstone Nashville here, and our pastor preached a sermon that nothing is a surprise for God because God can see the end from the beginning, so he sees your path all the way through. So I just wrote that song. So God sees the end from the beginning. I can't remember this.
I like it.
No, it's
Good
okay.
line.
No, I want to. There's a couple lines that's not right in it.
I think Mike's watching now.
Mike Rogers is
Yeah, I
watching.
think the pressure's on.
No.
Did you hear your name or something and like?
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden,
Mike
all of
Rogers
a
pops up.
sudden,
Hi,
Ben,
Mikey.
is somebody here for you?
Oh, there. Mikey likes it. All right.
well, folks, we've
Yep.
had a great time.
So recap what
and-
we're doing, and then we'll finish. We can do
So
something else.
this is step one of a recording a record. So we're gonna record a record starting Friday, a week from today, called Songs for the Times, maybe. That's our
Yeah,
working
that's what we-
title.
And people don't realize, most people that are going to make a record, it is 6 months in the making or preparation. We are cramming this in a week, and we're letting y'all be part of it. So
Yeah,
we're
so-
stressed out a little bit.
Would you like to watch us record an album? Because we want to set up cameras in the studio on next Friday when we start tracking, when we start the first recording day. We will be getting together a time or two before then to have more song meetings and actually arranging the songs that we choose.
Well, are they enjoying this? Ask him if
Are
they're
you
enjoying.
enjoying this?
We need to know if we're
I
wasting.
think so because they're still watching.
Yeah. Well,
I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. So this is the first step, and we'll
Yeah.
whittle down the songs. Each
We
one
will.
will come to the table with these suggestions and their favorite songs, and then we just kind of also have to pick things, to make a variety. We need some up tempos, we need some slow songs, we need some hymns, we need some originals. So there's a lot of process that goes into making a record. So then we'll go in the studio and record it Friday. We'll start the first day. We'll be tracking, which is where you lay down the music. And then we'll go back in and start on the vocals. I don't know if that'll be
Saturday. We think
Saturday we may be in
Saturday,
studio.
yeah.
Anyway, and so for a donation, if you make a donation, it's actually an honor system. So if you watch it a lot and you're enjoying it, we ask.
But there has to be a minimum.
to
Yeah.
make a we'll
For
figure
the
out.
trial.
We'll
We'll
let
figure
you
it
know next time. We're
Yes.
still working out the kinks, but to help us pay for the expense of recording it and going live with it. So, all right.
All right, then 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah,
we
we'll see you
got,
tonight, 6 o'clock.
Hey, and there's a
Hour.
special surprise
Yeah.
tonight.
Don't tell them what it is.
Oh, I don't mind telling them,
Not
but
to watch.
no, they
I
can.
just-
Trust me, they're going to want to watch to
Okay.
hear. The family that I've been in the studio this week with the Vaughn family recorded at my studio this week, and they decided that they would stay over just so you guys could see them. So we're going to have them sing a song tonight.
Tell them real quick how we met them, how we found them. last
Well,
week.
they signed up. We did our Musication Nation events,
Last
and last year we had a talent show, and they won it. And in winning that, they got a session with me. So it's so good. But anyway,
They're
So
guests
they're gonna
tonight.
sing a song tonight.
Awesome.
Okay,
6
so
o'clock.
6 p.m. Central Time. We'll see you there. Thanks for all the ideas.